Hello, weirdos. My name is Diceberollen. Welcome back to Brain Mucus. It is the 10th episode of the Horror of Mental Health. It's very important. Small landmark, still counts. This is the series where my guest and I will discuss a movie of their choosing. The goal is not to judge or review the movie based on whether or not it's good or bad. It is just to explore the significance of it regarding mental health and in the life of my guest. And today we have a very special guest, darling. Yes. We have James of Shut Up James joining me. How you
I'm
doing?
very special. I'm great. How are you?
Yes, everybody's very special. My mom
Yeah,
tells me I'm very special.
very special. I love it.
Yeah.
Lucky number 10, the episode.
Yeah.
I love that.
We'll see. We'll have to see who's number 13. That'll be interesting. I think that's kind of a badge of honor to a lot of
Yeah.
people.
Right. I feel less special now. Thank you.
Oh, well, it's all right. You were the
Yeah.
precursor. You are,
Okay,
you
good,
are
good.
paving the
Good, right.
way.
We're building up to it.
Yes, there you go. We can't just jump right into that, you know?
No, who'd want that? I don't.
We have many interesting people to talk to. It's okay.
It's good.
So, for those who don't know, why don't you introduce yourself?
Yeah. Oh, gosh. Me. I'm Shut Up James. Um, I do movie reactions on the YouTubes. I'm also on the TikToks and the interwebs,
Yeah, just in
Instagrams,
general.
and then Facebook because just I feel like I have to be, even though I don't really don't wish to be there. And the Patreons, but I do movie reactions. And I used to do modern trailers. I feel like that's like a long in a long lost
It's
land
yeah, it's become
in the
less
long ago.
prevalent.
But yeah, I just love scary movies.
Yeah,
Period.
and thus you can see why I brought him here. I was watching your reactions. I like to watch reactions to, of course, horror movies or just movies that I know and enjoy in general.
Mhm.
So that's kind of how I came across you, and I pop up in one of your live streams about the time where I was doing Silent Night, Deadly Night,
Yeah.
and that's kind of how the formation came about.
Yes. That was a nice, pleasant. It was a nice, pleasant surprise, but it was perfect timing because
Mm,
I was doing my Silent Night, Deadly Night, like 3, 4, 5 movie reactions the
yeah.
exact same time that you were doing your reviews. So I
Mm,
got to watch mine, post them, and immediately watch your review, and then
yeah.
it was just perfect. It was just perfect.
Is it not planned in the slightest? It just worked
Nope.
out real well. It worked out very
Synchronicity.
nice for very nicely for hopefully most everybody. Yeah, that's it's a interesting franchise.
Right. Yeah, it didn't get too many views on my end,
Um,
my videos, but the
well,
it was a fun experience, even
probably
when
not
it
something to
wasn't
do a
fun.
lot.
Right? Yeah, one and done. We're good.
Yeah,
Part
we're
3 we
okay.
watched. We're done sorry, done. And part 4, I think we're done forever. I
Yeah,
would watch part 5 again probably, but
part five is interesting. It's
they all
a
yeah.
hell of a ride.
It's the only one that had like a beginning, middle, and end that made
uh,
sense to me. So that's why I was like, I can watch this again.
True. I
And
mean,
Mickey Rooney.
that's also fair. Mickey
Yeah.
Rooney is, I guess, kind of Killer Santa.
He's
Kind of.
kind of a killer Santa, yeah,
Yeah. So
to a
that's
degree.
interesting,
Yeah,
given the history. If you know Mickey Rooney, of course.
right, exactly.
I think
Oh, fun.
3 is where 2 was interesting. I was kind of prepared for 2, but then I went to 3 and I said, "Oh God,
Yeah.
oh no."
2. Well, I heard the story of 2 of how like it wasn't supposed to be a whole movie. They were filming like extra footage
Yeah,
for the first one, and then they were like, we can make this into a movie, and it just turned into this whole thing. And so they're like, but now we don't technically have enough footage, so we have to use footage from part 1. And I went into it knowing this will be terrible.
mm.
I I don't know why I went into 3 thinking it would not be terrible.
You got Bill
But
Moseley with a jelly salad bowl on his
oh
head.
my
I mean,
gosh. See, like I can find I don't like I mean they're all bad movies, right? But like I can
yeah,
find stuff that I like about maybe the first one and maybe some stuff about the second one and almost the fourth. And I find stuff that I like in the fifth. The third is just so exceptionally bland
yeah.
to
And you
me.
would think
So
that would be hard to do given the premise. You would. It
right.
sounds fucking batshit,
Y-
and then
And then bleh, let's have the killer be comatose
yeah,
with with a jelly brain and just walk around and say, what was her name?
Laura?
Yeah, he just walked around. That's
Yeah.
all he did. And I was like, you couldn't even like use. I was waiting for them to have a moment where he said like naughty instead.
Yeah.
No,
But no. No.
no,
We don't get that. We don't even
we
get
don't get
naughty. What the?
nope, no payoff. All set up and no payoff.
The grandmother was sweet. That's all I've got for you. That's
That's it. Oh, I recognized her from Dante's Peak. I loved that moment a little more because she's in Dante's Peak, and then she didn't last long anyway.
We recognize her at least a little bit. I saw the third Silent Night, Deadly Night, and then I'm watching Speak No Evil, and she's in that. I'm like,
Oh,
no way.
stop, ma'am. Do
she
better.
plays an archangel, I believe, but
Oh, okay.
reincarnated. It's very
Same.
bizarre. I will not try to explain the movie. I don't know. Another not great movie.
Another
It could
not
be
great
entertaining.
Right.
But we're not here to talk about Silent Night.
Sorry,
God
my
forbid.
ADHD. Yeah.
No, I started. It was me. Hello to everybody in the chat. We will be getting to you guys. Don't worry. We have a specific section for you all. But hello, Wayne, Big Rod, Sean was here, Aaron, hello. We will get to you.
Garbage
Don't
day,
worry,
yeah.
darling. It's all good. So, you said you like scary movies. I hope so. How and when did you get into horror movies?
Ooh. So, I think I was like 5 or something. No one was ever really paying attention to me as a child. So if something was on, I got to watch it because there was no one there to stop me. Sorry. So I remember some of the first movies that like really gave me nightmares were like the remake of The Blob, Silver Bullet, Ernest Scared Stupid.
Oh,
Used to scare me as a kid, and I finally got it on DVD. It's in this pile someplace. I'm excited. I'm gonna do like a reaction during Halloween time and stuff. But no one was watching me, so I just kind of accidentally got introduced to a lot of these things. And actually, in that group, one of the earliest movies was Child's Play, and then Child's Play 2. So I was like 5, maybe, and Child's Play 2 was on TV a lot. Because it had like just come out like that year or the year before or something.
yeah,
So,
1990.
in 1990, and I was 4 at that time.
I
So
was
by the time it was
not-
on
I was not
TV,
born
I was
yet.
I was probably 5.
I'm sorry. I know, yes, I get that reaction a lot. A friend of mine, Charles, is like, never mention that again.
Yeah. Thanks a lot. So
Yeah.
that was a fun episode. Bye, everybody.
Thanks for inviting me. Bye. I'll never
Yeah,
come back.
this is great. Episode 10 was a blast.
Existential spiral. Bye.
All right. Yeah.
Hello, David.
I have those daily.
Yeah, no, we like to mark on the calendar 0 days since last existential crisis. Good. Excellent. We're keeping a good record. That's marvelous. That's funny. You mentioned Ernest.
Yeah, I'm like, where? I mean,
Ta-da.
you have that's.
Yes. For
mean,
those
I
who are
can't find
listening,
it right
we're
away,
showing
though.
off our copies of Ernest Scared Stupid. Because we're nerds. This is what we do. But it makes sense. I was also scared with Ernest Scared Stupid a few times as a kid, so it makes sense. It's scarier than I think a lot of people give it credit for.
Right. I can't find it.
Oh no. Well, I believe you. That you
Thank
have
you.
it.
There's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 piles of movies on the floor.
That sounds about right.
That's
Yeah.
why I can't find it.
Who
Yeah.
can relate? Everybody in the chat. Yeah.
And then I've got more over here, which is my like Pride stack that I have ready to take some photos of for the Instagram. So yeah, I don't
Is
know.
it like
where it is.
the color layered?
No, I did a rainbow spine
Okay.
post, and then I did one that's like a black background, but the words are the rainbow. This one is
Ah.
actually just going to be like gay movies,
Gotcha.
like
Under the category
Texas
of.
Chainsaw. Yeah, Next Generation.
Mm.
Killer Condom, if you've ever heard of it or seen it or know of it, gay. So
I vaguely aware. Vaguely.
yeah, I watched the first like 20 minutes and I was like fascinated. It is bad, but like the camp is camping. So I
Okay.
only got to watch like 20 minutes. I'm excited. It's a 2-hour movie. Like
Oh my
I don't
God.
know who does that. But yeah,
In this age of 3-hour movies,
exactly right. It's so short.
that is real short, man. I don't know. Oh, that's fair. All right, cool.
Yeah.
Cool. I've not heard until now someone bring up Ernest Scared Stupid, so I'm also very excited to know that you'll be doing a reaction
Yes.
for October, I'm guessing.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna do it as like an actual reaction or if I'll do like one of my live watch parties where we
Okay.
just like push play at the same time and watch it.
Those
We'll
are
see.
fun.
But it's happening regardless because it just has to. In
Yeah.
my 180 years of existence, like it's been too long since I've seen the movie. So
Fair. Everybody needs to be reminded of it once in a while. I think that's a good thing.
right.
That is a good thing. Everybody needs some Ernest P. Worrell. There's nothing wrong with that.
No. The other movies I don't remember liking. I think I just remember liking that one because it was scary. That might actually have been like my actual gateway movie into horror. Might have been Ernest Scared Stupid.
It makes sense. You also have like Eartha Kitt in there, just cause.
I forgot. I have almost no recollection. I think I cried when I was a kid. I think like one of the kids gets taken and like becomes a thing, and I was like, "Oh my god!" Like, what happens now? Like,
kids are actually in some pretty decent peril in that film. Like, I will not ruin.
Kid in Peril was my vibe back in the day.
Sounds about right.
Clearly, yeah.
Clearly, it Pennywise. Hey,
Mm-hmm.
why not? Killer Clown. Fuck it.
Right.
So, you brought up Child's Play 2 for our discussion today. Specifically, I got my Chucky shirt. It's not Child's Play 2, but it's Child's
okay.
Play.
You're forgiven though. I got my Running with Scissors, which is from the poster of the second one.
Yeah, were you trying to cut the Jack in the Box's
Sorry, Jack.
head?
Chucky's back. Yep.
Yeah, I remember that.
Mm-hmm.
So, with that in mind, what are some of the mental illnesses or disorders that you think are represented in this movie, and how do you relate to that, if you do?
Oh. Yeah. I guess I should have had you maybe tell me the question before, because I'm like, oh wait.
No.
I'm like, I know what it means to me.
Yes.
Okay. Because well, for oh my gosh, I don't know what disorder specifically.
Well, it could be.
This may.
Yeah, it could be something. I know Andy is adopted, essentially, here.
Yep.
So that could, in a way, kind of relate to mental health, like kids having to deal with that transition.
Yeah, that makes sense. For me, it was the like separation from. It was almost in this movie specifically, because it's in the first movie, but in the second movie specifically, it was like filmed and written and shot in such a way that Andy felt like an outlier. So I think it was for me kind of the like issues or fears of like abandonment or being ignored, kind of that treated I connected with. Treated like you're crazy. Yeah. Yes. In the movie, it's like Chucky's real and no one believes me, but that's still something that can, someone can connect to in any capacity. So the LGBTQIA plus community, if we're going to go there, or just like loneliness in general, like me clearly having like ADHD, OCD, like all but no one was paying attention to me. So his cries for help kind of resonated with me in a way where like, no matter what he says, no one's paying attention. So that's where I connected with that movie. And then Kyle as this, older, wiser character who's kind of in that transition of she's not a child, but she's not a full adult. And she's like this hybrid that becomes the savior. Made me think of my sister, because my sister's 13 years older than I am and basically raised me. So a lot of things like that. That's how.
There's a lot of relatability.
Yes. Yeah. Yes.
No, that's fair. These are good points. Isolation, definitely. That started, like you said, essentially in Child's Play and continued in Child's Play 2.
Yep.
And I think that a lot of people. I watch a lot of horror movie documentaries. A lot of people, when it comes to horror movies that involve kids, especially if the children are not being paid attention to or not believed, it makes them highly relatable to a lot of kids watching.
Yeah.
So that makes a lot of sense. Yeah, just pay attention to your kids. You know,
Right. Listen to them.
listen.
They got something
Just
to say.
listen. It's fine. Just listen to them. It's fine.
Yeah.
No matter how crazy it is, listen to them. Active imagination or not, come on.
Yeah, whatever.
It's important.
Mm-hmm.
So, that's valid, and I'm sure there's, as I always say, some more stuff. So if anybody in the chat has anything to contribute as far as what you can
This
read,
chat
there's
is
no right or wrong
blowing up.
answers. We'll get. Yes, I see you all. Bless you. We will bless. We will get to you. But if there's
ADD after
anything
dinner
that you
drinks.
think of that could relate to this movie or the characters, please throw it in the chat. No right or wrong answers. This is all interpretation.
Yeah,
Just
let us know.
art, you know. So, with that in mind, how you have the relation to Andy and your sister and Kyle.
Mhm.
How realistic do you think that the depiction of that is in this movie?
It was. I mean, it's kind of the whole movie. It's grounded in a lot of like reality, like you said, the issues of adoption and like these new parents and the system, and you also have, I mean, you have a lot of things that are very real, but they are presented in a kind of fantastical way.
Killer doll, you know.
Yeah, Killer Doll, exactly. But even like the way it's shot, everything is portrayed as like larger than life. The performances are a little exaggerated, to say the least. I mean, the opening scenes are all very exaggerated. The sometimes cartoonishly. So it made it digestible. I guess maybe when I was a kid, so I
Not
can look
so
and I can
serious.
relate. Yeah, I can exactly. I can relate to the characters, but it's not so serious that I feel removed or it's making me feel sad. I'm connecting and I'm scared and I'm this, I'm that, whatever, and I'm resonating with it, but I'm having fun with it. Like it's taking these things and it's putting it in a context that I can digest as a child. I think is what this movie and a couple others, but mainly this one did.
Yeah, and that makes a lot of sense. I think a lot of movies in general, horror movies especially, they're known for taking these like really fucking heavy topics and making it digestible. Some
Yes.
more than others, and that's okay.
Right.
Levels.
Yeah.
So, not everybody has to watch Martyrs. It's okay.
It's on my list at some point. I think it has to happen.
I'm on this list again. My friend Charles of Villascredia, he's the one that handles. He's got a whole series about some deeply disturbing horror movies, and I'm like, yeah, I watched Cannibal Holocaust. I'll get there eventually.
Oh gosh,
Okay.
I had to watch that, and someone presented that to us in like one of my film classes in college.
Oh no.
And I was like more of a mainstream kid back then, so I was like, Wes Craven's New Nightmare, and they brought in Cannibal Holocaust, and my God,
We were not prepared.
I was not prepared.
We were not prepared.
Niche, very original, sure,
Yes.
but please never present that to me again.
It's not something you put on for the family when they're sitting down for takeout, you know?
Yeah, I mean, the babies don't like it.
Do that. Yeah, no, don't do that. It's gonna scare grandma. Don't do that.
Right. Oh my goodness.
All right. So it seemed kind of fantastical, the elements.
Yes.
Do you think it was exploitative, or was it more kind of respectful in a way?
I got the impression it was more respectful. It didn't insult the system. It didn't insult, the orphanage like workers or the parents for adopting Andy. Like it presented those things in kind of in a serious way. It was like Chucky and some other stuff that was kind of more, and some of the adults that were more over the top and ridiculous. But I felt like it did it. I feel like it did justice. It didn't linger on too much of it either. It was there, like this is what it is. This is what's happening. This is what he's dealing with, and then we go from there.
Yeah, I feel the same. I'm sure they could have been absolutely outrageous if they wanted to exploit that. People have in movies before, you know, like new parents. Oh, they must be evil. Or something like that. So.
Or you could take that scenario, like the adoption, and make it like use it as a gimmick instead of as something to actually have set up and pay off and propel the story forward. Because I really don't like Child's Play 3, and so and most people don't, but there's a lot of people that do, and if you do, that's fantastic.
That's
But
great.
they take like that, they take things, and it seems like a gimmick. Like the I don't, and the characters don't seem relatable for the most part or likable. There's like a carnival that's barely used properly. There's the academy that's not really used properly. Like it just kind of is all thrown together for the sake of throwing something together. It didn't seem like a cohesive story was being told to me.
That's fair. I have some friends who Ken Sledge, I believe, likes Child's Play 3. Hi Ken.
Yeah.
It's all right. See, difference
Yeah.
is this is a good thing.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Yes. Or there's things that they tried to do that I was like, oh, this is good. Like the corrupt toy guy in the beginning. I was like, this is great. But then they abandoned that. Like it's just used as an opening ploy, and then they abandon it for like the other stuff. And then they abandoned the whole academy and go to the they just didn't like fully commit to anything. That's how I feel.
That's fair. I mean, I'm not the biggest fan of Child's Play 3 myself, so. But I like some very interesting things. So.
Right.
Who am I
Yeah.
to judge?
That's true. My opinion is. Oof,
It's just simply my opinion.
Yes.
So, do you feel that John Lafia,
Lafia, something
like that?
Well, yeah.
Do you feel that he was trying to say something specific about
well,
mental illnesses?
It makes sense. It's what I found out later. I don't know if you already knew this or not, but the director was actually suffering from a lot of mental illness. He was extremely depressed. He had a lot of issues while filming, a lot of issues after, and he ended up taking his life later. And I didn't know any of that until only a few years ago, because I have like the 4K, and the 4K has like all these commentaries and extra things, and I was like,
wow, okay.
Yeah. He suffered from like a crippling like feeling of like inadequacy, like nothing he did was good enough. So I'm watching, so even now, like, 30 years after the movie comes out or whatever, I'm watching the behind the scenes, and I'm like, well, I can relate to that too, damn. But
Damn.
yeah, so because the thing is, I feel like it's one of the best made in the franchise, and it's what's shocking to hear that he didn't think he made a good movie, and he was dealing with all these things. I don't think he directed again. I feel like he did that, and he said that he felt so like so much of a failure that he never directed again. And I was like, that is insane to me. If I'm wrong, let me know.
Sad.
Yeah. So maybe it's
well.
maybe it's inadvertently like interwoven into the creation of the film, and maybe that's why he had more of a kind of maybe, I don't know, like subconsciously you can feel like the cry for help.
Across.
Yes, yeah, because he also, I guess these are interviews with him that he said, because it was years and years and years later that he did that. But
I think it was 2020.
Where was it? 2020. So only a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
He had said like that he related to Andy also, like the character and the idea of Andy. And then there's also an interview with the woman who plays the teacher, who was also the lady in the bus in Speed who gets pulled under. And she had said that she only took the role because she didn't want to do like scary movies, whatever. She only took the role because she resonated with Andy and not being heard. And she's like a big like child, like listen to your kids advocate person. So I feel like there's a lot going on with that second movie, more so than maybe the others.
Yeah, no, there's.
I think.
I haven't delved into the Child's Play movies just yet, because usually when I do, as I'm sure a lot of people here will know, I'll also do after review
Grant,
kind of like a follow up, like facts.
Mm-hmm.
Beth Grant, thank you,
Yeah.
Clarison. So I haven't delved into Child's Play 2 very much at all. So I had just, like yesterday, found out that John Lafia had passed. So I didn't even know how. So, he did direct. Yeah, he directed a handful of movies.
Oh, he did.
After
Okay,
Child's Play 2. Man's Best Friend for horror fans. And for those who might know that one, I've heard. But a dog turns from man's best friend into man's worst nightmare. So like a killer dog kind of thing. I think Lance
Killer.
Henriksen.
insert inanimate
Yeah.
object. You know,
It's,
yeah.
you know,
Killer
you know
dog,
the drill.
killer
You know.
doll. Yeah,
Dog, doll. Hey,
killer
let it be
dollar.
legal.
Like as long as it starts with a D, it'll be a killer. Yeah.
Yeah. So he did do more work after that, but I think Child's Play 2 is probably the one that he's most known for. We'll say that. But yeah, no, the feelings of inadequacy, I'm sure some would classify that as imposter syndrome, perhaps.
Yeah.
That's interesting, and I think you can, like you said, feel that in a way through the screen, the characters, and stuff like that.
Yeah, 1,000,000%.
It would be hard not to, just like with when we're making videos. If we're not having a good day, I'm sure people can figure that out.
Pick up on it. Yeah, there's definitely some reactions where you can. It's my disdain is bleeding through my pores, like the sweat is right now because I'm dying.
It is hot, darlings. You know, it's
Yep.
summer.
I'm sorry if anyone can hear my fan. It's like aimed at my face because if the AC is too loud, I can't do that to you all.
I got
But this
my
room
AC
is not
now.
insulated, which means like whatever temperature it is outside, it becomes that temperature in this room.
Lovely.
Yeah,
That's fun. I'm on the second story, so I understand.
yeah.
I understand.
It's not fun.
It is not Gucci. We're not here for it.
Yeah, it's not giving.
No, it's not. It's
No.
giving dehydrated.
Yeah, it's giving sweat.
See, this is why we have lovely things like this here. You know.
Oh, smart. Well, I did have a teacher that said, like, if you do that, you use just as much energy. And it's like, shut up, Mr. Allison.
We ain't gonna be using any energy except
Yeah.
for kicking your ass here in a moment. All right. So interesting. I did not know that about the director. So see, we're educational here.
Yes. We teach things.
We teach things. Maybe not great things all the time, but you're learning something.
Yeah, it might not be useful information, but we're going to teach it to you anyway.
So, you kind of mentioned this a little bit, but what was your experience watching Child's Play 2 for the first time?
Oh yeah, I guess kind of like it was one of the first scary movies, like I said before, that was scary but fun, and I wasn't used to that. Again, because the other ones that I was watching at the time that were being shown to me or on TV were like, is it the cat?
No, I think that was probably someone downstairs with the door.
Oh, I was like, what's the cat doing?
The cat's opening the door, slamming.
Cat does. I'm done with this conversation.
Yes, goodbye.
The cat didn't like my Child's Play 3 comment.
Yeah.
Most of the scary movies were like really scary to me, so I would watch and scream and freak out and be like, this is too much. And Child's Play, I was like, oh, that was scary, but whoa, that was fun. Like, that was cool. I liked that. And I think that was one of the first ones as a kid where I was really, I enjoyed it. Like, I just had a good time. I'd already watched the first one, and I think the first one was kind of fun, but it was more scary to me. So the second one was like, oh, like, we can have a good time.
This can be fun. Some humor.
This is going to be fun. Right.
That was fair. Oh.
Yeah.
Is there a scene that you remember during your first watch or so that really resonated with you?
Many.
The whole thing.
The whole thing. For some reason, I'm trying to think of, like, there's a bunch of them, but I guess just the very end, the two of them walking out together is something that stuck with me like a lot, because you usually had a final girl.
Yeah.
You usually had, like, even in the first movie, like, everyone's kind of disheveled, and Andy is still like, you know, like, look, I remember he like leaves and it's like a freeze frame of him looking back inside, and then the music is very sinister. And the second one was like he and Kyle walk out together, like, good. Like, man, that sucked, didn't it?
Okay.
Yeah, a little beaten up, but they're fine. Like, they have each other, and I feel like that was another one of the first movies where, it's maybe off topic a smidge, but like I feel like the reason that people relate to, say, like, Scream so much, and they love Scream, and like Sydney is like the gay icon or the this icon or the whatever, and but also it's one of the few horror movies where there are multiple survivors. So the sense of surviving with your friends or with other people, I think, has more of an impact than like someone who survives alone and is still alone. That might be like me overthinking, but that's kind of how I felt. Like I as I grew up and continued watching the movie, I was like, is the acting great in Child's Play too? Like, no, again, like it's fine, but I really just loved the characters. And I think it was because Andy and Kyle's relationship was just like cool and good, and it built. And at the end, like,
They
here we are.
survived.
They survived.
We've got trauma bonding.
Trauma bonding. That's
Perfect.
it. That's where my brain was trying to go. In like my 100 million words I just said, trauma bonding.
It's the scenic route, if you will.
Yes, yes. I like to go
there.
the long way. Yeah.
It's all right. Just use a few more adjectives. It's okay.
Yeah, we got this. That's fine.
I watched Child's Play 2 much older, I think, than a lot of people, but as I've mentioned previously, I am slow to getting to the horror genre. I didn't start out with it. I was a kid that was like, if it looked even remotely scary, I'm out.
Oh, okay.
So, you know, at some point, a flip switched, and we're like, let's just
give it a
take
shot.
everything.
Yeah.
So, I watched it, I don't know, maybe I marked it on my letterbox, I don't know. But I watched it a couple years ago, perhaps, maybe, going through the Child's Play franchise. And, yeah, the character of Kyle and Andy being back, I think those were very important key elements, of course, to the story. And you're right, you at the time would probably see more of like, well, Kyle's probably going to survive, right? She's the final girl. What about Andy? He's a kid.
Right.
What do we do about this?
Yeah.
Can't kill them both. Let's go.
Right. Well, they almost make it seem like they're going to kill Kyle a couple times.
Yeah. And you're like, but she survives. Yes, the fashion icon that is Kyle.
Oh God. When she showed up in, I forgot, I think it was Cult of Chucky, she shows up in the like post credits. I was like, thank you, Lord. Thank you.
She has returned.
I only watched season 1 of Chucky, so I'm not sure. I don't know anything that happens after that. I have not seen any behind the scenes photos of her from the past couple seasons, so that's discouraging. But still, having her back for a little bit, I thought was pretty good.
It was at least something. A little crumb,
a little taste. Yes.
We'll have to see. I haven't jumped into the series just yet, so
it's interesting.
I've heard
the one season I saw.
I've heard good and bad things. It's
that's the same. It's like there are moments where I'm like, this is really dumb, and then there's moments where I'm like, this is what I was looking for, and then it goes back to like, but this doesn't make any sense, and it takes you everywhere, and then it ends with the big cliffhanger. So I was like, well, what the hell?
That sounds about right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Mancini.
Yep.
All right. Cliffhanger. Yes, thanks. Love it. Right. I'll be over here.
Don.
Don, no, come back. Don't do this. So, kind of sort of related to some other things here. Are there any horror movies that you avoid?
Any horror movies I avoid?
Yes.
Well, I don't know. Well, I avoid, like we mentioned, Cannibal Holocaust. I avoid gratuitous for the sake of being gratuitous. And I'm not trying to watch like terrible, disparaging things happen to people. Period. Usually just like point blank in the period, but like for no reason as well. So like my borderline, like I kind of probably could have skipped this and won't watch it again, or like the Hostel movies where like there's a story and there's character and there's a beginning and a middle and end and it is saying something, but the violence is so insane that I'm like, I don't think I need to watch this again. Yeah. There are movies like a Serbian film that I believe should be stripped from existence and like just like screaming at the screen of what is this, and I would like to avoid, like on my Patreon, if you do like a movie request, there's a stipulation that's like nothing egregiously disparaging, and it says I don't want to watch another Serbian film. I don't want it.
That's fair. I think that's a lot on the list of a lot of people.
I remember watching, it was like 120 Days of Sodom,
Yes,
and that was
Salo?
weird and solemn.
I think
120
it has,
days.
like, 2 names.
Maybe,
Either
yeah.
way, same idea.
It
same
was
idea.
weird and gross. I never want to watch it again, but that still was not even as atrocious as Serbian film.
Hmm.
Salo. That's what Wayne said.
Salo?
The audition. I thought was so boring. I had a friend who just watched it too, and I watched it years ago, and I was like, this movie, maybe at the time, it was very original, but it only has like 1 or 2 really like whoa scenes. It's like have you seen it?
I have not, but I'm aware of the ending. I don't know about the ending, but let's say probably some of the more pivotal scenes.
Yeah,
I'm
there's like
aware of.
like a halfway through throwing up some
Yeah, that's where I'm like,
yeah. And then the end has a very like, because it kind of out of nowhere, I guess the whole movie's like a very slow, boring drama thriller. So when the violence happens or the gross stuff happens, it is kind of like out of nowhere. But the end has like a very visceral scene of violence. But if you've seen the movies that have come out today, it's like times 1,000. So
Yeah.
you know,
it's
disturbing.
like you said, I think,
It's disturbing. Yeah.
Yeah, I get what it is. That's usually on the list of like extreme horror that I'll see. We've all heard about the extreme horror iceberg and shit like that. That, oddly enough,
What's
is
that?
like right at the top. Have you not heard of that?
Oh no.
Oh, well, I don't. Let me see if I can try to explain it. There's others who have done like deep dives on it,
Mm-hmm.
who have, for some reason, maybe for us, I don't know. They're the filter.
Okay. Cool.
Who have kind of like gone through. There's different layers, so the further down you go, the more disturbing and obscure and horrifying.
Oh,
it's
like
supposed to be.
they've kind of given them like tiers of.
Yeah.
Okay, got you.
Yeah.
Yes.
So essentially like that.
Video
And
nasties.
I know that.
Yeah. No.
Yeah. The stuff that you didn't even know existed. It's supposed to be like at the very bottom. Stuff that
Right.
you're like, is it real or not?
Yeah, like Faces of Death. I won't watch it.
No. Well, now we know, of course, Faces of Death. Who's filming this?
Right. Well, I never even I've seen like a single clip from it. Well, I guess
Yeah.
wasn't it like the first one, like parts of it were real footage, but like not most of it or something.
I'm not sure. I
think it
haven't
was something.
even delved into those myself. So.
I never watched some of them. I probably won't watch those. I don't want to think it's real.
No.
I don't even want to like have the thing in my mind. Like I'll have nightmares.
The possibility.
Right.
I think we see plenty of real disturbing stuff on Twitter. So
Yeah, exactly. There's enough stuff. I could just look out my door. So
yeah, just open the door for a minute and
Ah.
if you're living in the city, you understand. It's okay.
Okay.
I say this as someone who's a former suburban person, so it's all right.
Oh, okay. That's where I live now.
We will
Suburbia.
We will get to the comments here shortly, but if you have any questions about the movie, mental health, and horror for James, please
Give me
place
your
them.
questions. Give them to me now.
It-
While I hold this fan on my lap.
That's fair.
Because
it's summer. It's summer.
I am like dripping. And I get irritable when I sweat.
Fair.
So buckle up, everyone. Just kidding.
Why the fan is necessary.
Yeah, and that's why I drank my energy drink. The energy drink will balance out the state of
Aggression.
anger I would usually be in. So
Caffeine is important. All right, so
And
while
0
we're
carbs.
letting- Yeah, hey, comments, questions. Go ahead. We'll get to those and everything that you have previously
Tell
put
me.
in chat.
best
Go
horror
for it.
film starring Mike. Horror film watched David Lynch's Dune. I never saw Dune.
I know. I just haven't.
I watched the first half of the new one, like of the remake, not
Yeah.
like Dune 2, but just the remake one. And I will say my jaw was on the floor. I'm like, nothing has happened. It's an hour into the movie, nothing has happened, and I'm just like, it is an experience. I don't understand how they were able to have nothing happen for an hour, and not a single second is uninteresting. It is shocking.
Well, hey, it's better than just, when is this gonna be over?
Right. Yeah. Like all of a sudden I was like, it's been an hour? I'm like, I thought that was like 15 minutes. It flies. Sorry.
Huh. Well, that's not bad then. Good. I'm glad to hear that at least.
Yes.
So, you guys keep going. We'll get right to you in a hot second here. Who are your comfort character or characters that you may relate to? You mentioned Andy.
Andy. I'll like I'm a scream gay. Sydney Prescott. I feel like Sydney's the survivor we all want to be. Like for me at least, like that's why I think I resonate with her. Or is that even the right word? Am I saying?
Raisinette? Raisinette?
Raisinette. That's why I raisinette with Sydney. Is I do love a good raisinette. Is I think she's the like I'm gonna stand up and fight and whatever and save my friends and save myself and take down adversity and take down the killer, the bad guy, the bad whatever the bad thing is.
The force that wishes to kill you.
Exactly, yes. And each movie she progresses in such a way that I'm just like, yeah, period. So her. Who else?
Everybody needs a good final girl, you know?
That's yeah. I feel like I thought I was Randy. I always thought I was Randy in Scream.
I mean, same.
Yeah.
Same.
I have to look at these movies really. Another one would be what's her name? Firuza Balk? Is that how you pronounce her name?
Oh, Firuza.
In Return to Oz. Is another like no one's listening to me kind of thing, and she's like an outsider and whatever. I feel like I love that movie, but I definitely connected with her. Irma Gersh.
Only the easiest questions, you know.
I know, right? Damn.
I didn't know I had to be here and think. What is this?
Right. What is this nonsense? Tommy Jarvis in Friday 13th final chapter.
I don't know. Yeah, I think as like horror kids, people who grew up with horror.
Yeah, I'm saying probably obvious ones. Yeah.
It's what resonates. It's not. It's mainstream.
It's what sticks.
It's what everybody else said. Get out of here.
Yeah.
Come up with something obscure and original. Come on.
I'm so D-class A. Oh, Poltergeist. Carol Ann. I used to love Poltergeist 3 for the practical effects, but I also the whole like bullying aspect and her confidence in Poltergeist 3. She says you're so D-class A to someone in the movie, and that's why it popped in my head just now. But I say that every single day. So
that's fair.
Copyright infringement.
Yeah, we're immediately copyright flag. Why? Because phrase. What?
Yeah.
Thanks, YouTube. What?
Damn it.
I think, even though you said something a little disparaging about Child's Play 3, I think at least with Ken Sledge you probably gained a couple of brownie points there for mentioning Poltergeist 3. So there you go.
I love that movie.
I think it's a pretty solid trilogy, really, given some other things I've seen.
Right. And each movie's totally different. I can go off on a whole thing. I won't even start.
Oh, it's all right. Don't worry.
That's not this episode.
Who knows? When we're talking about Poltergeist 3, perhaps in the future, not related to mental health, we'll have James back.
There we go.
Yeah.
And
not Child's Play 3. It'll be Poltergeist 3.
Poltergeist.
Yes. Clarification. Do you feel that horror films in general can be kind of a cathartic experience for people dealing with mental illness?
I believe so. Like you'd said earlier, it takes topics that maybe are too difficult. Like it can take a very dark topic and present it in such a way that you don't even maybe realize you are experiencing this topic. I mean, this is not the same movie, but like Invasion, the original like Invasion of the Body Snatchers is like a great example of like the what is it? What's his name? Who is it? Oh my gosh! Someone in the comments. Yeah. Oh my gosh, who was the Catharsis? No. Who was his name? It was based on someone. There was like
McCarthy?
McCarthyism, thank you. I was like missing the first couple letters. McCarthyism. So it was like this pod movie about people like changing into all these things and blah blah blah, and you never know who it is. It could be anyone. And it was like during this time where people were being accused of like ridiculous things and like being blacklisted and like taken and snatched or imprisoned. Communism, yeah. So like all this stuff. Did I mean communism when I said McCarthyism?
I don't know. It could still apply. I think it could still apply.
Something bad that ended with ism, and
something that others didn't like.
Yes, but you were watching this movie, being like, "Oh my god, this is terrifying." A lot of people were like, "Oh, they're speaking about this," but some people might not have realized it. They don't realize that they're watching something that is talking about this. Like The Boys, the new the show that's on now, is very much talking about politics and corporations and stuff that we're dealing with at the moment. And apparently a lot of people didn't realize that's what they were talking about.
Hi, welcome everybody.
Wow, yeah. The like murder and bestiality going on in the show didn't like piss you off or like, steer you one way or the other. Yeah, but you didn't like that it seemed like, but yes. I feel like it presents it in a different packaging, so it's digestible for more people.
I think horror is very good at that. I've always this is why I started this series within the podcast, was because I felt like there were horror movies that I perhaps would never think, oh, mental health is involved here, or others might not think, oh, mental health is involved here. Like the Boomer from Podcast in the Woods in a previous episode, he brought up Evil Dead 2, and I'm like, I don't think there. And then the more I look into it, I'm like, you've got a point. Let's talk about it.
Right. Perception is reality. So it's what a lot of people might connect with might not be the main part of said movie.
It may not be outright like in your face.
Exactly. Yeah. Right.
So, but it could still be there. It's all up for how you perceive it.
Interpretation.
But I do think there was a stream that I did a while ago, just because I happened to come across a couple of videos from people who were talking essentially about how horror movies are actually harmful to you mentally. And immediately I went, no, we've got to react to this live, because there's things to talk about here.
There's things, yeah.
But there are several scientifically based articles that say people with anxiety or depression will watch horror movies, and it does help, because they're able to experience these horrific things without actually being in danger.
And I have a lot of I'm a very anxious, anxiety-ridden person. It's a way to channel the anxiety by being in a controlled environment where you can be anxious and scared and worried and this and that about something that is not real. And then you can leave, and you've just gotten those things off your chest, kind of. Like that's why, like, I mean, when I say like Poltergeist 3 is a comfort movie, yes, I love the movie and I relate to it a lot, but it's like a scary movie that I can watch and kind of, I remember how it was able to make me not anxious back in the day, so it helps me become not anxious now.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I mean, horror comfort movies, not an unknown concept.
Right.
Especially to me. I have my own list. Everybody has their lists, I am sure. It's an interesting topic. Perhaps we'll explore that some other time. Who knows?
Please.
Yes. Ideas, fam. Ideas.
I'll show off these movies.
Yes. Behold.
Behold.
I've done a video where I did show off like my physical collection. It has grown a good bit since then. Over 500 individual films, my friends. Yes.
I haven't gone through mine in a minute. I mean, like tapes versus DVDs versus Blu-rays, and like what I have on display is only like 20% of what I have, probably. Yeah.
People like those videos. They're fun.
Yeah.
I like that. So,
and now I have my little TV so I can watch them.
That's true. Yes. The nice CCTV.
What is this one? It's like the combo Panasonic.
Okay.
It's Panasonic, but it's the VCR TV combo.
I say this like I know anything about TVs.
Yeah, I know like Zenith is a big deal. I don't have a Zenith.
Yeah.
But her name is Tina.
Tina, the Panasonic.
Yeah. And I love her.
That's fabulous. That's a whole honestly subsection of physical media collection that I think is really quite fascinating. I don't necessarily see myself collecting too many VHS tapes unless they've like never been transferred to DVD or Blu-ray or something like that. Then maybe.
Gotcha. Yeah.
I take a
Right.
very archival approach
Mhm.
to
Well,
collecting.
and that's how mine was for a while. Like I wanted everything on disc so that I could watch it, and then once like a new like a Blu-ray and then 4K. At first, I'm like, I don't think I need 4K. Then I saw 4K, and I was like, oh no, I need 4K. So, but I got to the
We
point where I'm
can
like, I
feel
have
the textures.
yes, exactly. Yeah, I could smell the movie. So I'm like, I have so many copies of the same movie sometimes, but there are certain tapes that like just have that nostalgic, like holding a tape to me is like a whole nother level of nostalgia. And I used to love movie trailers. That's why I used to make the modern trailers and stuff. I can't watch them now because they spoil everything. But I could,
Yeah.
when I first got the TV, what I did was I sat and I watched, such a weirdo, I watched the trailers. Like I'd put a tape in and I'd watch the trailers and go, oh my gosh, I remember watching these trailers before this movie when I was a kid. Then when the movie started, I would rewind it, take it out, and put another one in. That's how I spent. That's what I did with it, like 9 tapes in a row before I actually watched a whole movie.
Or you're just testing it out,
It just has to, yeah. It's just like there's something about like the tape and the trailers beforehand and the bad quality and like the shape of the. I love it.
It's
now I've gotten out of control with like movies I've never even seen before. And I'm like, this is cute, I'll buy it. So now I need to calm down.
This looks good.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Right.
Hello, thrift stores. Now we shall get to everyone's comments and whatnot.
There are many. Good luck.
Yes, bless you all. We love the interaction. Thank you. Let's see. Hello, Ryan. It's about 10 a.m., maybe a little bit further along now, in Sydney, Australia. Bless you for tuning in. Bless you. Let's see. You got Child's Play 2 on Blu-ray, I'm sure. You have a very extensive collection from what little you've told me about. Bless you. Let's see. Don't we all, darling? Don't we all? Mm-hmm. We're not
I
here
need
for
the heat for real. Like I'm holding my fan because it's bad. It's very bad.
It's, everybody, please go over to James's channel, become a patron, so he can afford more fans. Get more fans.
And also, like, if you're a Patreon or a YouTube member with my channel, I use most of that money to buy stuff to do giveaways. So
yeah, no, he's always doing giveaways, so please.
That's why 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of the piles of movies are giveaway piles. Monster movie giveaway, summer movie giveaway, horror remake giveaway, paranormal, Christmas, miscellaneous. I can't see the 2 over there.
They're all categorized.
Yes.
Let's see. Aaron Martin never thought Child's Play 2 would be an episode, but hey, to each of their own. No judgment. Yeah, see, that's the fun thing about this, just like what I was talking about. Someone will bring up a movie. It's entirely up to them. I'm never going to say no.
Yeah.
It's entirely up to them because it's their perception of the movie.
Yeah.
So, Davey Deathray, bless you. Hello. Child's Play 2 is an awesome sequel. Just rewatched it earlier this week as I'm going through the entire franchise before putting together my ranking. Bless you.
Nice.
Good timing then, huh?
I'll check that out. I love a ranking video.
I enjoy pretty much all the ranking videos, really. I need to do some of my own, so I'm gonna...
Yeah, occasionally I've done a couple, but I just get so caught up in other stuff I never get back to. But when I did with the ones I've done, I'm like I had a blast filming it.
Yeah, that's the whole point. It's to have fun.
Have fun.
Wayne Turner, my first horror movies: original Nightmare on Elm Street, Evil Dead 2, Fright Night Part 2, Return of the Living Dead, and Child's Play. Not a bad grouping, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Fluorescent Soda, if you're born in the 80s, the kids' movies, PG and PG-13 movies, scare you the most. That's true. There are a lot of movies from, like, the 80s that you might watch now and you're like, what the fuck?
Terrifying.
Oh, of course.
Like, Poltergeist was PG?
Yeah.
Are you joking? Like...
This is for kids. We will not have Death by Fan on live. Don't... It's his Final Destination. Wrong place. Until you get something like Exorcist, Nightmare on Elm Street, maybe Halloween. Yeah, maybe about. There are a few. I think Gremlins helped kind of contribute to the change
Yeah.
of the rating system. So I'm sure that helped. Wayne, I have Killer Condom on DVD. Of course.
I have it on. I'll show you. It's right here.
I do not doubt this, Wayne. Bless you.
This Vinegar Syndrome did. I think this is 4K. He liked the word. Maybe I'll cover the word just in case it's But it's like, it's a
Okay.
like I love. I'm a sucker for a like a what is this? A box. Slip, like a slip cover. So there's like a box and then a slip cover. It's a lot of graphic things. But yeah, they did
expect, from such a film.
Yeah, it is Ultra HD, so it's 4K. Yeah.
Okay.
Vinegar Syndrome.
Vinegar Syndrome, bless them for coming out with stuff that everybody else is going, what?
Huh? But what?
There's a what now?
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Fluorescent Soda. And Mick Garris saw Ernest Scared Stupid when he wrote Hocus Pocus screenplays. Probably possible.
Yeah.
Honestly. Big Rod. I watched Ernest Scared Stupid every October. Yep. Once I rediscovered
I'm probably going to.
Yeah. It kind of become a rotation, part of my rotation for October. So once I learned that just because one person said that it was a terrible movie doesn't mean that it applies to everybody.
Right.
We learn, we grow, here we are.
Yeah, because whenever I say it, people are like, oh, you like the Ernest movies? I'm like, I didn't say I like the Ernest movies. I said I like Ernest Scared Stupid. I think, because I was 5 years old the last time, or 6 or 7 maybe the last time I saw it.
Now, I only watched it briefly. It was this weird little double feature that they did when I was a kid. And it was this very weird cartoon, what was it called? Monster Mash? I think from early 2000. And Ernest Scared Stupid. So it was a bizarre little thing. I didn't know how to process it.
Gotcha.
And now we'll have to revisit
I don't know how to process anything, so
Fair.
that sounds all right.
This is a sieve right here. Big Rod, the gate was great as a kid. Not very scary as an adult, but it was rad at age 6. That's one that Charles has brought up. Yeah.
The Gate. This is actually one of the ones. So I'm sorry to go off on a tangent. Well, no, someone brought it up. It's not a tangent. So I watched.
It's okay.
Yeah, there were a lot of movies when I would describe them to people as a kid. No one knew what I was talking about, and I was like, "There's a movie where the kids are at this house, and a bunch of crazy things are happening outside." And then at one point, their parents come home, but it's not their parents, and everyone's like, "You're being dumb." It was only a couple of years ago that my friend Blockbuster Videos, who I've had on my channel and stuff, he was like, "Oh, it sounds like The Gate," and I was like, "What? It's real?" And he's like, "Yeah, that sounds like The Gate." And so I finally got this steelbook, but if you notice, it's still in plastic. So I have not seen this since I was a wee baby, and I'm hoping that this is the movie, and I'm gonna check it out at some point.
It sounds. The things that you mentioned, I watched it, I don't know, a few years ago. It sounds like that's probably it.
The parents are walking up toward the house and they're like, "We're home." And the kids are like, "Oh my God, you're finally home." And one of the kids, I think, is in the doorway "That's not them," or something. Yeah. Oh, it's funny we're talking about childhood trauma movies. I just got this and haven't seen this in a long time either.
That's one that my mom brought up, and we watched one year for the beginning, shall we say, of spooky season. And I was like, atmosphere, yes.
Yeah, it's mood. I'll watch that again someday. There's a pile of movies that I'm like, I want to watch these movies for the first time. Another pile that's I haven't seen these movies since I was a baby, so I need to watch them again. Actually, I'm looking at Invasion of the Body Snatchers. I saw people saying R.I.P. Donald Sutherland, but I've never seen his version. So
I haven't seen any of them. It's 3?
You should watch them all in a row, because they're all remakes. None of them are sequels, but they all pertain to something kind of happening at that time. So there's one from the 50s, then there's one from the 70s, which is kind of speaking to something else. There's one from the 90s, speaking to something else, and then there's the Nicole Kidman one, which I love, but I don't know if it's speaking to anything. Oh, it is. It kind of is. It's speaking to something, but not as. But yeah, it's not as good. But I still love it because it's Nicole Kidman. But
fair enough. See, there's a. But we'll get there. We'll get
there.
Absolutely. That's an interesting idea to just do them maybe not in like one day, but like one right after the other, just to try to
Yeah,
compare.
I've considered doing like 1 month where it's like week 1, week 2, week 3, and week 4, but with what time? Yeah,
Understood.
yeah.
Yes. Fluorescent soda, Child's Play 2, Universal hates Karen Barkley, throws her away without explanation.
Unkind, for
Very.
real. Yeah,
Yes.
because I don't think she's in the show. I could be mistaken, but it's like the most obvious person to bring back would be.
I think that
Wait,
I've
wait, wait,
seen
wait.
people
I'm
talking about
sorry.
it.
Yeah, her name is Karen. Yeah, that's the mom. Yeah,
I think so. I
people
will
have been
not
wanting
say
her
for sure. I don't
back.
know.
Yeah, people have been wanting her back from like forever. So
Yeah. She only really like showed up once in the whole franchise. That was it.
that was it. Never again.
Ah,
Her picture shows up in some other ones, but yeah, you've never
that's
seen.
not the same.
Watch it.
It's not the same. Just a picture, not the same. Aaron Martin, Ernest Scared Stupid, and Scooby Doo 2 Monsters Unleashed are my favorite movies growing up. I watched Scooby Doo 2 for some reason. I don't know why. Perhaps it's the ADHD. On
I think
repeat.
I was in high school when that came out.
I was. Math. I don't know.
Yeah, yeah.
We'll just say, when I was younger,
Gotcha.
I watched it on repeat for some reason. But maybe it's Matthew Lillard. Who knows? The
Maybe.
cast was immaculate. We know this.
Yes, we know this. The fashions were fashioning.
That's also true. Yes, there was a lot of pleather going on. Hey. Speaking of sweating,
Yeah.
Big Rod, it's crazy how just a few decades ago the world's understanding of mental health and illness was understood so little. This is true, and we still have a lot of work to do, but it's getting better, slowly but surely. But
Maybe
here's
so.
another reason to try to bring things to the forefront a little bit. Doing my own little part in things, you know.
Right.
Davy Deathray, I became obsessed with Child's Play when I was about 9. I asked for My Bloody Doll for Christmas that year as a result. Such a weirdo. Well,
Such a weirdo.
hey.
At least
those
you had the
pretty
confidence to ask for the doll. I was like, I don't like dolls.
I'm good with that doll. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks. No thanks. Touche. No, that's I've heard weirder. That actually kind of makes sense. So
Yeah. That seems
you
fun.
said living doll. Sure, give me one.
Eh,
Why
not
not?
that one.
Big Rod, same here, Davey. We're around the same age. I think I was born in '81. Chucky and Freddy were the beasties. Fair enough. Let's see.
They were.
Let's see.
They are.
No, yeah. Hey, they're icons for a reason. Clearly.
Right. Hmm. I still haven't finished watching all of the Freddy movies. I'm a fake fan.
I froze for a moment, didn't I?
You did.
Anyway,
Yeah.
they are icons for a reason. That's all I was saying.
Yes.
Anyway. Aaron Martin. I weirdly watched the Child's Play trilogy backwards when I was little. Interesting. Did that
Well, if
change the story?
Yeah. You're like, it seems weird that Andy got younger as the movies went on. I feel like if the newer one, maybe depending on when, how do I say, like I did that kind of with like the Halloweens, because the new one that had just come out when I was getting in, like, oh my god, I love these movies, was Curse, which is part 6. So I don't remember exactly what order I watched them all in. I don't believe I watched them in the correct order, but
Who knows?
6 was new. So like, yeah, I had to piece them together afterwards, and then like I was like fully aware by the time H2O came out, and I was like, oh. So that makes sense. Like you probably like maybe 3 was the newest, and you're like, hey, 3, and then you're like, oh, there's a part 2. I should watch that one, and you're like, wait, there's an original.
You kind of it's a weird little discovery thing, especially
Yeah.
Prior to streaming and the internet and all that. You kind of had to
Yeah.
figure that out on your own.
Yeah.
Like, which one comes first? I don't know. Let's
Yeah.
just watch all of them.
The free for all.
Yeah. Wing or speaking of the disturbing movies, the Human Centipede trilogy while having dinner.
I only watched while having dinner. I only watched the first 2. I was like, I'm good.
I haven't watched any yet. I'm planning on maybe doing a reaction to those.
They are something.
So I've heard. It'll be great.
The third looked insane, and I was like, "This looks. I'm not gonna do it.
This
I
looks
will
too
not."
much.
Yeah,
Fair enough.
but it's also like I will say. Okay, I'll say this about the movies. The first, like, it's an original idea. Sure, it's disgusting. I don't think it's trying to say anything. That's
It
so
might
I'm kind of
not,
like,
no.
by the end, I'm like, wow, that was just like really messed up. The second movie is an interesting approach, and I won't say why, but there's a few things that they do stylistically that I really appreciated and was like, they didn't have to do any of this, and they still did. So I appreciated it for that. But then after that, I was like, okay, cool. And then the third one was announced, and I was like, I don't want it anymore.
Yes, I am good. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah. Interesting. I'll have to dive into those eventually. We'll
Someday.
See. Right. If that's something you guys want to see, please go ahead and vote with your Patreon. Okay.
What does no? Yes.
Hey, fluorescent soda.
You gotta
I like
plug it.
Parts of Child's Play 3.
Parts of it. It's got decent parts.
Child's Play 3 ripped off The Omen 2. Interesting.
I
know that The Omen 2 is supposed to be similar.
Oh, maybe he goes to maybe the Omen kid goes to like a university, like a military
Something like
style.
that.
Yeah, I haven't seen. I own all of them. I have not seen.
I have seen.
I haven't even
original,
seen the first one.
And the recent one. That's it.
The first Omen.
Yeah, the first Omen, not to be confused with the original Omen. That was the first Omen.
Right. Exactly. Yes, I've seen parts of the original, and I saw the remake, and I've seen parts of. Is it called? Like the Reckoning? What is it called? What's the fourth one called?
Oh god.
Yeah. Oh, the Awakening. The Awakening.
Oh.
That was always on TV when I was younger. So that was on TV, and I was like, "What is this movie?" And then found out it was like part 4 of the franchise.
Whoops.
Yeah. Oopsie.
This is how we learn. It's okay. Once again, exploration.
It was my Child's Play 3. I went backwards.
Yeah. There you go. Fluorescent Soda, Silent Night, Deadly Night. The first film is a horrible depiction of the struggles of a character's mental health. Let's put it this way. The main character, Billy, was not treated well.
Right.
At all. Clearly this is what happens when you ignore a child's mental issues and do not give them therapy and instead give them nuns. This is not.
Yeah, the first half of that movie was trying to. I was like, wow, this is really like going in on like this whole mental health thing of Billy and like what he's been through, and then the second half of the movie was like, but he's crazy, and I was like, oh, we're not gonna approach. Okay, you gave us such realistic depictions of like abuse and like
trauma.
Religion over this and trauma and all this stuff, and then you find out halfway through it was just a gimmick to get to like assault and murder for no reason, and I was like, okay, that's not really how that works. And then there's no comeuppance, which I think is also what pissed me off, is at the end of the movie happens and he doesn't even kill that bitch.
Yeah.
And then the second movie that doesn't count because she's not the same actress.
No, I don't know what happened to the Mother Superior between the events of the first one and the second one, but
yeah, did she like they suggest or they say she had a stroke, and I'm like, does stroke burn half your face off?
I don't know. It's like
it was weird, but she also didn't act like her or look like her. She was like, I am Mother Superior, and you will shut up.
You can kill her now, Rick.
Yeah, you can be dead now.
It's all right. I know that people, when they're watching that for the first time, they're like, if she doesn't die in this one.
Yes, I swear. To God.
There'd be a big problem here.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, of course. Wayne, Chucky suffers from small man syndrome. Yes, it's a Napoleon problem right there.
They acknowledge. Oh no, it's like was it a complete? Oh my gosh, something to do with like not completing things. That's what they acknowledge in one of the movies. Not the small man syndrome.
So Chucky's got his own problems. We know this.
He's got some stuff going on, but he's an ally, so.
He might kill people.
We'll take what we can get. Yeah.
An ally is an ally.
Yeah.
Hello, Bronson. Welcome. We're catching up.
Are we?
Wayne, I know too many people that suffer from delusions of grandeur.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
dealt with some people like that. It's more the aggressive approach, but
Yeah.
let's see, moving on. We got, bless you, Bronson. Bless you. Back to Jen.
Thank you. I think I
It-
saw that a while ago.
Quite a catalog that
I
I
didn't want
love
to acknowledge it.
to
though.
enjoy. No,
To be
sorry.
rude. Thank you very
Bless.
much.
Thank you for pointing that out as well, Bronson. Bless. Wayne, Child's Play 2 makes me think of dolls.
Dolls.
Dolls. Killer dolls.
Killer
Most likely.
dolls. Dolls that kill.
Dolls that kill. See, there's a difference. There's a difference.
Mm.
Or people who are killing dolls. It's weird. There's a lot of different
It's up for interpretation.
subcategories. Yeah. Apologies if I can't get to everybody's comments or questions, but we will be picking up the important ones. The ones. Let me rephrase that. That sounded horrible. The ones that have to do with. I'm not a great host, in case you couldn't
Oh
tell.
my god. That
We'll be picking up the on-topic ones.
There you go.
All questions and comments are important, and will be reviewed in post. Thank you. Wayne, Child's Play, loneliness, returning trauma, isolation, obsession, Chucky with Andy, growing pains, paranoia. But rightfully, yeah, justified paranoia.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Fluorescent soda, I will recommend Dead Alive 1992 someday. That is more than gratuity, but the gratuity is impressive. Yeah, that's Peter Jackson before Lord of the Rings.
Yes, I've heard, and I actually watched because I love The Frighteners, which also has some of that, but it's like a more stylized kind of version. But I watched Bad Taste,
Oh,
which
I
was
haven't seen that
also it is insane. I actually watched it last year and filmed a reaction and have not edited it. There's no full length, there's no edited version, nothing. I filmed it and it's just sitting on a
yet.
shelf.
There.
So I'm trying to hopefully do it maybe for next month, like end of July, beginning of August or something. But if I've heard Dead Alive is like Bad Taste with a budget, and I'm like,
Yeah.
oh no. I mean, I'm excited for the craziness, but it is just like what he did with practical effects in Bad Taste was exceptionally impressive, considering there's no money,
Little to no budget.
no budget. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's so weird.
No, that's I
Wet.
enjoy
It's a wet
Dead
movie.
Alive. It's absolutely batshit, and it is gross, but not
Yeah.
like my god, I can't watch this. It's gross.
Yeah,
It's rather impressive with all the special effects and stuff. There's a
Yeah.
lot of blood. There's a lot of
I'm a
blood.
sucker for practical effects, so
Yeah, and there's I'm not gonna spoil anything, but there's like a rather impressive piece of practical effects towards the end. I couldn't tell you what the scale was of it, but
I'll watch it.
it's interesting.
It's gonna happen.
And
Well,
I
Fluorescence
love-
is gonna request it. Fluorescent has made a couple really good requests on my Patreons. So
There you go.
the more
All it
niche
takes is one
things that I
person.
would never. Yes.
And I love
Just
that you
them.
bring up The Frighteners, because that's one of my absolute favorite horror movies.
That also scared the hell out of me when I was a kid. Like fun, scary. My brain was so confused, and I knew Michael J. Fox from Back to the Future, so I was like having a blast, but also like this is scary. And then when they have the whole flashback scene at the end with him like walking around just like shooting patients, I remember being like, "This isn't okay." Like
This is traumatic.
This is really traumatic. Yeah, that movie is. Oh, isn't the woman? Isn't the teacher from Child's Play 2? No, maybe it's not her. It's not. I'm mixing. I'm thinking that she plays like the older version of. She's not in the movie.
Patricia? The character?
Yeah,
Patricia?
for some reason I was thinking that it's not her at all.
No,
She just has like
Dee
long,
Wallace.
like not gnarly hair, and
Yeah.
it was a vibe. It was a vibe.
No, that's Dee Wallace, I believe. Yeah.
Oh, duh, Dee Wallace. Oh my god, I'm so stupid.
I didn't recognize her because
It's
she's
been a
playing an
minute.
absolutely insane woman in
Yes, with like long hair, and I'm used to her having short hair.
Yeah,
but-
short blonde, Yeah.
Yeah.
Hello, JPG. JPEG.
It's pronounced JPEG.
JPEG. Hi, JPEG. How are you?
JPEG.
But it's
Oh,
not JPEG.
not
so-
JPEG. It's not pronounced JPEG.
Right, got it. Understood. Thank you.
I'm dyslexic. I read backwards.
I'm lucky I read it all.
Yeah, I mean, I never learned.
Thoughts on the brand new Smile 2? I have not seen it, just because I like to go in as blind as possible.
I have not seen it either. I was gonna maybe watch it after I watched the first movie because I haven't seen the first movie yet. That's why I
Oh.
haven't watched the trailer yet.
Speaking
But
of
it's probably
heavy
gonna.
mental health.
Yeah, I've heard someone told me they were like, "Oh wow, it's really heavy and it's not
Yeah.
what you think." And I was like, "Shut up." I knew nothing. I thought it was like an at face value kind of horror movie. So now I'm expecting something different. I love going as blind as possible.
Same. Yeah,
So
I find I have a more enjoyable time when I do that.
yeah.
What I will say about Smile in general is, yeah, mental health is a big one. That is the one that Charles of Willis Credia had brought up for his episode previously.
Mhm.
And a lot of people were getting the impression that it was like a, what was that weird one? Truth or Dare? It was like a
That's
Truth or Dare
what,
thing.
yes, that's what the advertising kind of suggested. So I was like, oh, that seems interesting. Like I liked Truth or Dare. That was creepy.
I wouldn't
But it's
classify it as campy. We'll put it that way.
yes, I the more I hear about it, and I keep telling people stop talking about it, is that it takes itself much more seriously, and again, it's like not what you would expect it to be. I think it's like
Right.
2 hours long as well. So I was like, oh,
Could be.
this,
It
yeah,
goes well, though. I'll
yeah,
say it
it,
goes well.
pacing wise,
So
yeah,
yeah, so I really don't have any big complaints with Smile. So
yeah,
we'll see what they do with Smile 2. I know
yeah.
we got
There you
Smile 2,
go.
we got Maxine.
Yeah, a lot of stuff.
There's a lot going on. Let's see. Speaking of current events, unfortunately, RIP to Donald Sutherland.
Yeah.
But on that subject, I know we were talking about Invasion of the Body Snatchers, but what
Mhm.
would be some best horror films starring Donald Sutherland? Asks not JPEG.
I don't remember what horror movies he was in besides like Invasion. I know he probably was in a bunch, or I'm probably forgetting. Oh my gosh, this movie's not good, but he was in Virus with Jamie Lee
Oh,
Curtis. You've never seen it.
I've never seen it. I think I've heard of
It's
it though.
it's I apparently Jamie Lee Curtis hated filming this movie so much she tried to get the director fired. And she talks about this heavily on the Halloween H2O commentary because she wanted the director of H2O, Steve Miner, to replace that director. But it's also crazy because if you listen to the Virus commentary, that director had nothing but amazing things to say about Jamie Lee Curtis. It is so weird. The movie is like trying to be a lot of different things, and it some of them land and some of them don't. I think it's fun. It's like a fun action movie. It's like a huge ship is found in the middle of the ocean by like a little crew, and Donald
Oh,
Sutherland is the captain of this little crew, and he kind of will do any like basically if you find it and there's no survivors you can salvage it and get the money.
yeah,
So
yeah.
he it's almost like the movie Ghost Ship,
I was about to say, yeah.
but
Sounds.
imagine, yeah, but it's a sci-fi, like sci-fi approach instead of a paranormal approach. So there's like a
Okay.
sci-fi entity on the ship that is taking over the machines of the ship, and it's converting like humans into machines. And so like it starts like trying to take the crew to like adapt into their like Borg situation essentially.
The Mass
But it's a,
Borg.
yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's like a mid late 90s action movie. Um,
Okay.
yeah, so but it's I would say it probably leans more into the horror. Um,
I
but
mean, it sounds like it. I
it's so
think
funny sitting
trying
right
to
there.
become robotic is
Yeah, Jamie
rather
Lee Curtis,
horrifying.
William Baldwin, and Donald Sutherland.
Huh,
That's Virus,
okay.
and that's on
I
period.
I've seen it, but no,
Oh,
this
you
is
have
the
seen
first
it,
time.
okay.
Well, I've let me rephrase that. I've seen it around.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
I've not seen the movie,
Yes,
but
it's an
it's
experience.
it's vaguely familiar.
Yeah.
But looking at Mr. Sutherland's works, specifically with horror, Virus is technically under horror,
Fant.
so it works.
Yeah.
I know, like, Fluorescent Soda said, Don't Look Now is one that he's
Mhm.
very well known for. Invasion of the Body Snatchers, Buffy the Vampire Slayer, before the series.
What's the movie where he's like kills a kid, he like shoots a kid or something? I remember watching a movie when I was really young. And I feel like it's Donald Sutherland and he's like chasing some kid and he like kills the kid and then leaves, and then people like find the kid and he hides. I don't know. I like there's movies that like I've seen when I was younger that like certain scenes stick, but I have not yet found.
And then we create a Facebook post that says, "Does anybody recognize this?"
I remember, yeah. Back then, they'd be walking to Blockbuster and they'd be like, "Oh, it's this movie," but now,
yeah, you got to go to your expert in Blockbuster.
Yeah.
Who's like, I got you. I don't see. I really need to do more educating myself on Mr. Sutherland's work because most of what I've seen him in is not horror. Oddly enough, I know that one of his like last films was Mr. Harrigan's Phone, and that one seemed interesting.
never heard of that.
So, it's now that I think of it, actually knowing the vague premise, which I won't spoil too much. It's interesting given that he has passed now. We'll put it that way. That's all I'll say. I haven't seen it. I only saw like little pieces of like the trailer when it came out. That's about it. But there's a lot to observe from Mr. Sutherland in his horror repertoire. So now
Loved him in
is a
Hunger
good time
Games.
to do it. Yeah. That's
Not
what a lot
horror,
of people are saying, and I'm like, but what about Buffy Snatchers?
Yeah.
Does nobody remember this? What about Buffy? What about that?
Wait, Buffy?
Yeah, he was in, like, before the series, and they did the movie, he was essentially playing the role of Giles in the movie.
Oh.
And Pee Wee Herman was in that.
Oh my god. Okay.
Yeah, as a vampire.
Fun.
Fun.
Before the 90s movie?
It was...
Or
no,
this is the 90s movie, like the early 90s movie?
This is the 90s movie. It was before
Gotcha.
the series.
I haven't seen that one yet.
I've only seen little pieces, so we'll have to watch that sometime. We have a lot to catch up to. Thank you very much. Fluorescent Soda. I am Troll 2 gay. So Credence Lionor Gielgud, sure, is the greatest character in horror history.
Never seen it. I know I know of the scene.
Yeah.
They're eating her, and then they're gonna eat me. No. Like I know of that scene,
oh my god.
But yeah. Oh my god.
The Fly deserves an award, I think, in that scene. You know.
The Fly. Ew, I forgot. It was so like why he committed. The Fly committed. The actor committed.
Yeah. Everybody worked together.
Yeah.
They made magic. It's all right. Question for James from Big Rod. Who is James's favorite horror villain or franchise?
Ooh. I used to say Halloween, Michael Myers, but the recent trilogy, basically I only enjoy the first half of that franchise. So 1 through H2O.
You can pick and choose.
Yeah, so like Resurrection, Rob Zombie's remake. I actually do like Rob Zombie's Halloween 2 director's cut, and I will defend that, till I die. And then the new trilogy, though, like almost all of the recent movies for the past 20 years, I have mostly hated in that franchise. So I would lean into Chucky and Ghostface. Ghostface is always someone different, but I think consistency wise and like franchise fun wise, those and Alien, which Alien is an alien, but I can watch any of those movies and have a good time, and I am exceptionally excited for Alien Romulus coming out. So
I've been hearing a lot of excitement about that. So
the teaser slapped. I won't watch it. There's a trailer. I'm not going to watch it. The teaser gave me all I needed. It's already a day one. Yeah.
I'm on board. What more do you want?
Yes. Take my money.
Yeah. Very good. Very good. It can be hopeful. Fingers crossed. Not JPEG, Blood and Honey 1 or 2. I haven't seen either.
I haven't seen 2. Is 2 streaming? Is 2 out?
I think 2 is out somewhere.
Because I haven't seen anyone doing like reactions to it or anything yet. But I've seen, like I did reaction to 1, and it's
It's a movie.
It's a movie.
It's someone spent money on to make.
The visuals.
It's a very.
The camera angles and the lighting are actually great. It's just there's no, but the production value when it comes to like Pooh and Piglet is not there. The acting is bad. The writing is bad. There's no story. The action sequences are filmed are just like they're drawn out for no reason, almost at like pad timing. Like at an hour and a half, it feels like 3 hours, in my opinion. And the characters are all stupid and mostly unlikable. So, yeah.
I'll have to eventually explore those two, I suppose.
Someday.
The ratings in my general circle have been not good.
No, it's not great.
So I don't know. It's not even apparently, according to what I've heard from people who have seen it. It's not even like stupid good. It's just not good.
It's just not good. I agree with them. It's just not good.
Wonderful.
They should have leaned into the camp. They tried
Yeah.
to be super serious. If they had purposely made the characters silly and ridiculous, this would have been a runaway hit, I swear.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean,
the
it's-
cult following would exist.
Yeah.
But it's just
Winnie and Pooh. Serious?
right. It just looks like tons of missed opportunity.
Yeah. And I don't.
90 minutes of potential,
There was maybe something there. Maybe I don't.
almost. Again, the lights were pretty.
It looked nice.
It would look nice. It was backlit.
Yeah, great. Let's see. We're moving through. Wayne, life can end. There can be and is horror. Horror can help. Yeah, it's kind of interesting. I don't know what exactly the term I'm looking for here is, but if someone is poisoned and you use the poison to make medicine, I feel like that. In a weird, very heavy.
In a weird way. Yeah.
We're getting very deep here, very philosophical, yes. Let's see. Moving on. As I said, apologies for not getting to everybody, but we don't want to keep everybody here for the extended period of time. Esteban.
Y'all are staying for 7 hours, right?
Yeah, you're here for like a marathon, right?
The drive-in delirium, the ultimate Dusk Till Dawn Till Dusk trailer marathon. What is that?
I have never heard of that. What?
Ultimate
Delirium
Dusk Till
Delirium?
Dawn Till Dusk trailer marathon. They just show trailers.
Is this like a channel or is it?
Esteban, Esteban's in my Discord and stuff, so I'll ask him.
Please
later.
explain.
Yes, if you're still here, tell us. But because this comment I think was from a while ago. But if you're still here,
Yeah.
let us know. But because I would not mind watching trailers nonstop.
I know there are people who will put together like compilations of old movie trailers just for
That just
people
play.
to watch.
Mhm.
So it's not an uncommon thing.
No.
Clearly. Yeah, great copy of the Killer Condom. There you go. Moving through. Apologies, everybody. Fluorescent Soda. Gremlins is a social commentary-rich franchise. True.
Gremlins I haven't seen since I was a kid either. That's actually on my this year's holiday like December list of reactions is Gremlins. I remember virtually nothing about it. I remember watching the second one when I was a kid too, and if I can fit both in like one weekend or something, I will. But I haven't seen either of them in a bajillion years.
I didn't even know this was a thing. Apparently, there was some discourse. I don't know if there still is when it comes to is Gremlins a Christmas horror movie? And I'm like, yeah.
It's
It
very
takes
well.
place
That
around
same thing with
Christmas.
like Die Hard, where people are like, "Is it a Christmas movie?" And I'm like, I can watch Die Hard any time of the year, but
Sure.
Christmas is part of the main theme of the movie. Christmas music plays in it. They're at a Christmas party. He's there because of Christmas. Certain things happen and don't happen because of Christmas. Like it's a Christmas movie, but like I can watch it whenever. I'm sure Gremlins is the same way, where like you can watch it any time of the year, but
Yeah.
don't get it twisted.
I like to watch it around Christmas. The second one is not Christmas, but I don't think
It's
a
like
bad thing to
winter,
watch.
but it's not. Yeah.
I don't know. I think they express.
Is there no
that.
snow?
I don't see
Oh,
any
okay.
snow there.
I feel like.
Of course,
oh,
it takes place
never mind.
mostly in like a building. So
Right, that's true. The third is very much
Uh,
summertime. The fourth is very much. They even say July 4th. And I've never seen the fifth.
I'm talking about.
plead the
What are you
fifth.
talking
Oh, Die Hard.
about? Okay.
Oh, okay. Gremlins. Oh yeah, Gremlins. They don't. Gremlins is inside a building. They never say when that is.
Yeah.
Sorry, I went to Die Hard.
As
Sorry.
far as I know, there's only 2, maybe some fan films. That's about it.
Yeah, no. There's just the one.
There we go. Okay. I just wanted to make sure because you were talking about third and the fourth.
You're like,
what did I miss?
What? Right, I went to Die Hard. My brain, my ADHD, and I'm starving, so I'm like waiting for dinner to happen too, and I'm like, everything just goes to mush. It's just like blah, 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 blah.
Same. The Phantom. Hello. The Gate is on my top 5 films that scared the hell out of me as a kid. Great soundtrack for that film.
I'm excited. To revisit that. I want to do it as a reaction on the channel because it will be like a fresh take. Yeah. But my list just becomes too long to get to any of the things. So.
Same.
Yeah.
Hello, guys.
Yes.
A casual conversation about horror movies and mental
health.
You know.
Mental health.
Yes.
The struggle.
I'm not the only one. Bless. We will get to Invasion of the Body Snatchers.
Watch them all. Yes. Watch them all.
All of them in one sitting.
All of them.
Thank you.
Yes. In a row.
Oh.
Actually, where's my... This is what I was looking at. I got it. I haven't watched it yet, but this is the 70s one with Donald Sutherland, but it's looking right at me on top of this pile. It's like, she's thick. She's a thick baby. This is from
Arrow.
It's from Arrow, yes. So it's got like the book and the everything inside. So I was like, the art is so beautiful. I'm getting it. Have I seen it? No, but look at this.
They always make them look really nice.
Yeah. Vinegar Syndrome does the same thing where I'm like they made the Birds 2 look like a freaking masterpiece. Of course I bought it.
They made it look good. Yes.
They made it look good.
I got one recently from them that's kind of similar to that, An American Werewolf in London. And
okay. I haven't seen any of those movies. I'm not like a werewolf movie person though. I know. I'm sorry.
Well, you know, I'll throw An American Werewolf in London out there for your reaction. There you go. You're welcome.
Perfect. Yeah, you're welcome.
Y'all welcome. Oh, good point, Esteban. If you're going to watch Dead Alive, make sure you watch the director's cut because you always end up with the TV cut version.
Okay. Thank you.
And I guess with Dead Alive, you don't want the like made for the normies.
No, I want it to like the wetness and the grossness. That's what I want to experience.
All the blood, all the visceral
sounds. Yep.
Bless you, not J-Play.
Thank you.
Glad for you to be here, of course. All right. Oh, hello. Hi, Gray. Yeah, YouTube notifications on point as always. Woo.
We're caught up?
I believe so. Yes, we're caught up.
Hooray!
I've skipped some things. I'm sorry, but you know, hey, if you have any more questions or whatnot, please throw them.
Ask me your questions. I see Big Rod said my favorite Halloween timeline to watch is 1, 2, and H2O, so I just have to comment because I do love the franchise, those first 7 movies. I like to pretend that 1 through 7 all exist in a linear, like they all exist together. Okay. Jamie exists in parts 4, 5, and 6, and Jamie Lee was just a bad mom, you know, and abandoned her. And so then she has John in H2O. Like, that's how I like to look at it. Because I can't, because otherwise, 1, 2, and H2O are fantastic, but I probably rewatch 4, 5, and 6 the most. I don't know why. And 3. I love 3.
Pleasing.
No, 3 is great.
I've never understood why 3 got the hate that it did. So
I get because it's called Halloween 3. Like, that's the only reason though, because the movie is a great movie. It's actually it's supposed to be very much, what is it? Tommy Lee Wallace said it was like an homage to Invasion of the Body Snatchers. Invasion of the Body Snatchers is playing a huge role in today's conversation about Child's Play 2.
Yes.
But that's
known?
Who would have known?
Who would have known? But here we are. I've always kind of quietly championed Season of the Witch, and
I loudly champion. I scream from the rooftops. I'm sorry, I just keep walking away and showing you stuff. I love showing off things.
This is showing off the physical media, yes.
Yeah. Well, this is actually.
Ooh.
I have a friend in Germany who made this, and he sent me one. Like he makes the print. Like he designed it and made it and colored it and whatever. And I went to a convention and I got to meet. Oh my gosh, Dick Warlock. Oh my God, why is my brain? Dr. Chalice, like
yes,
and Stacy. Okay, what's her name? Whatever. I got to meet the cast.
You got
I
to
have
meet some
dementia
important
brain.
people.
Yeah, I have like dementia does run in my family. In my
Oh.
brain, I forget things all the time.
I just blame it on
Tom
ADC.
Atkins, thank you very much. Heartthrob of the 80s, and I forgot his freaking name. He was
And
so kind.
You even get to see in that movie some Atkins cheeks.
You do.
It's nice.
That was the only thing I was like, why are these that part? And like his face is right here, and I'm like, that's all very unnecessary. He's an alcoholic doctor.
He's an absent father.
And we did an absent father, and we didn't need to see that part, but like, go for it, I guess. Besides that, it's great.
I do think it's really amusing. On this little side note, I think I did include this in my like facts video, but during that scene where you have Chalice and his who knows how young love interest,
Yeah.
Atkins' real life wife at the time was like in the next room over. I'm like
dying in the next room. Yeah. And they didn't stay together. I don't think so.
No, I think she passed away. As a matter of fact, so it's a whoops. Nobody heard it. It's okay. Welcome. We are learning many things today.
Yes.
Yeah, never trust a doctor who wears construction boots. It's fair.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it was the 80s, but all the same. It's, I don't know.
Also, he was getting a 6-pack at like 9 a.m.
For a road trip.
Yeah, for a road trip with a stranger.
Yes, with a potentially much younger stranger. Neglecting to take his kids out for Halloween at the same time. But because it's Tom Atkins, we go, okay.
Tom Atkins is still alive. Yes.
Yes.
When I got him to sign this was only a couple months ago. So I met him back in March at the Multimania convention in Jersey.
I'm looking for the opportunity to hopefully meet him someday, possibly. That would be good.
It would be worth it. He is older. Like he actually, I didn't want to tell him he signed it in blue, and I didn't want him to sign it in blue, but I wasn't going to tell Tom Atkins not to sign it in blue. And then when I went to Stacy, who plays the younger love interest, right?
Yeah.
She was like, "Oh, Tom signed it in blue," and I was like, "Yeah." And she's like, "I wouldn't have done that." And I'm like, "I know." And she was like, and she asked what color, so she did orange, and then Dick Warlock did green, and then pretended to punch me in the face for a picture. It was great.
No, that's good. Yes, it's like King Potter putting you in a headlock. You know?
Yes.
Yes.
We have like every picture. It's like the slow mo of it happening. It was great.
We'll make a little slideshow of that. It's great.
Yes, we love.
Yes, and Tom Atkins in Night of the Creeps.
Night of the Creeps. I reacted to that on the channel too.
Yes. It's a fun one. I don't
that
think
was
people
fun.
talk about it too much.
Nope.
For some reason. All right. So as we are wrapping things up, because I know everybody shouldn't be here for too long.
And James needs food.
This is important. Food sustenance.
Yes. Sustenance.
So if anybody has any last questions, now is the time.
Speak now, or
wait and go over to his channel.
Yeah, or that. Yeah, or ask me on the Instagrams or something.
Yeah. But last few questions on my end. Are there any other John Lafia movies that you enjoy?
Well, since I didn't know that he made any others, I'm gonna have to say no.
So, Child's Play 2. That's it. Thank you.
That's it. My favorite is Child's Play 2.
That's fair. I think there's
first and last on that list is Child's Play 2.
Yeah, that's the most known one that he's done, so it makes sense. If it were someone like John Carpenter, it might be a little different.
Right.
So, what would you like to say to anyone who is watching or listening who is dealing with something that perhaps we mentioned about mental health with this movie?
Oh gosh, I'm not the person to take advice from. I'll start there. But wherever you get your like kind of comfort, like if you find something that you can connect with that makes you feel better about what you're going through, don't let anyone like take that from you, I guess. So if it's a scary movie, if it's a band or music or an artist, if it's an anime, if it's a hobby, if it's a whatever, as long as it's not harmful to others, like lean into it. because I was going through a lot of stuff a couple of years ago and like was very lost, and then got back into horror movies and turned it into like my physical media collection and this and that, and have like met so many people, and most of my friends, including like my best friend like in real life, is all from leaning into this hobby and these movies that I can relate to, and they make me feel better about myself. And they, you know, if I'm having a bad day, there's certain movies, horror and not horror, that I'm like, if I put it on, my boyfriend's like, okay, like I'm gonna leave you alone now. If I
You need
can,
some
yeah,
alone time, okay.
right. If I put on Poltergeist 3 or The Relic, that's usually like I just need comfort kind of movie. If I put on Pete's Dragon, the 70s version of Pete's Dragon, he like hightails it out of there. He's like, you had a day. And I'm like, yeah, I just need to be like sad and then happy. So goodbye. So, but lean into whatever it is that makes you feel better, because it you know, it's not going to look the same for everyone. I guess that's my advice.
You're gonna receive judgment no matter what.
Right.
So yeah, no, it's I think some quite solid advice, really. And as I always like to say, if if you're not hurting yourself, you're not hurting anybody else.
Period. Exclamation point.
Clearly, those of us who do enjoy horror films, we're kind of accustomed, really, to people being like, well, how the fuck could you get comfort from that?
Right. Whatever.
Clearly, you wouldn't understand it. And that's
Yeah.
fine.
I look at someone who like plays sports and like that is their release. And I'm like, how do you get comfort from like running around? Like it is what it is. Each person is different.
Yeah.
As long as you don't get comfort from like hurting somebody else or like degrading someone else. In that case, you are a bad person.
In that case, seek therapy.
Seek therapy. Well, anyone should seek therapy, honestly.
Well, yes.
Even if you're having a good day, you probably should see a therapist.
Therapy is not a bad thing. It's okay.
No. It's good to get stuff off your chest, like stuff that you think is not a big deal, that's just like stewing. Literally, it's nice just to get it off your chest.
And even if that's maybe not necessarily like to a professional PhD therapist, if you have a trusted friend, family member, or even a stranger whose job this is, same thing.
Yeah.
Essentially.
Yeah.
But neither one of us have any letters after our name, so don't take that too seriously.
I'm not professional.
I am a professional in nothing. Thank you. Except for maybe sarcasm, that's about it. Alright, last question or so. Wayne, James, what Australian horror movies do you watch? Thoughts?
Oh gosh, what horror movies are Australian versus not Australian? The first one that comes to mind is Wolf Creek, which I saw in theaters. It went to theaters, but like kind of limited. And I remember seeing it in theaters and being completely blown away. And then I never got to see the sequel. I never watched the show, so I do want to catch up on those at some point because I've heard the sequel is really good. I've heard the show is actually very good. What else for Australian horror? Eden Lake is not Australian, right? Which I didn't like. I mean, I did not like it, but it's too bleak. It's too bleak.
I mean, a movie can be really good, but also, thanks. I'll never watch this again.
I'd have to have like a list of, because nothing is coming to mind, even though like I know I've seen more. Like
you've probably
Australian...
seen like more than you think. That's usually
right, and it's just not coming to mind right now. But Wolf Creek was like top tier.
The Babadook was Australian.
I didn't love the Babadook. I will say I thought the movie was so creepy and scary until they showed it, you know, like not even halfway through. And then I like literally the whole build up to him appearing, like he's in the dark and she hears him and like you kind of see it, but you don't see whatever. And then they showed this little like paper man go, blah, 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 blah. And I was like,
oh, okay.
All right. And then every time they showed him after that, I was like, this is terrible. And it just, Wayne says the Baba boring.
Baba boring.
That is what
has
it
a nice
was.
ring to it.
That does have a nice ring to it.
But hey, at least we got the Babadook as a gay icon, so there's that.
Late Night with the Devil is Australian?
Is it? That sounds about
that was
familiar.
Good. I watched that on the channel recently. Talk to Me I haven't seen yet. I do wanna watch that at some point. Triangle. Wait, is that the one with Melissa George? That was a good movie. That was a very good movie. That was a underrated. I am getting hives from being in this room.
Oh my.
Oh my god.
That's not good.
I'm like, why am I like my legs are itching? I think it's the mugginess of this room.
Ooh. Confirm if you can, Wayne, even if it's not in the chat right now. You can.
Oh.
uh,
If it's Australian.
Yeah. Well, it comes up. Is it? Google is not helpful. Google's not always helpful. Oh well. If Late Night with the Devil is Australian, that one I enjoyed.
Yeah. That was good. Fair Game, Road Games. I haven't seen those. Razorback. I haven't seen that either.
No. Yeah, there's a lot that I think as us in America we don't realize is from Australia. So yeah,
there's like a shark movie that had come out. I'm sure there's several, but isn't there one like they're in like a grocery store, like a flooded grocery store? I think that's an Australian film. I haven't seen it.
Could be.
It's almost like the movie Crawl, where like the town gets flooded and then there's a crocodile. That was a good movie, but it's a shark in Australia. I think it was Australian.
Okay. Oh, I got you. Thank you.
Oh, okay. So
filmed in Australia, created by Australians, and supporting cast is Australian. All right.
Bait. I think that's the movie. That's the one. Yeah, I haven't seen it.
Bless you, Wayne. Thank you. Being honored. Bless you for it.
Chain Reaction, The Long Weekend, I haven't seen any of those. I've never heard of some of those. I'm so sorry.
I'm not familiar, but there's a lot of different things that we must explore.
Yeah.
I think one that I recently watched that apparently is Australian is Next of Kin. That's from like 1982.
It sounds familiar.
But
also just because it's a saying, I guess maybe that's why it's not. It sounds familiar because people say that.
Yes, it's a phrase.
Right. It's a phrase that people use.
It's supposed to, again, I don't like to spoil really much of anything, but it's supposed to take place in what's essentially like an old folks' home.
Mm-hmm.
So, I think it was interesting. A little bit slow, but not too bad. Not too bad.
Got the job done.
Yeah, it's all right. Wake in Fright. That's the title.
I never heard of that one either.
We have a lot of Australian horror films to check out, clearly.
Yeah, I guess so. Patrick. Never heard of that one either, if that's a movie.
Sounds familiar. But I know some people named Patrick, so...
Yeah, that's right. There you go.
All right. Well, thank you, everybody. If you have any further questions, of course, for James, myself, or regarding Child's Play 2, you can always leave them in the description of this stream. So... I thank everybody who stopped by, had contributing questions, comments, interacted. The chat was off the hook, darling. Just to use an old phrase. But I appreciate you all. Bless you. I don't know when the next episode of this is going to be. I don't even know who is going to be here for the next episode. But as soon as I do...
Surprise.
Yes, it'll be a surprise. Surprise guest. As soon as I know, you guys will too. I have a list of potential people to reach out to. We'll get there. But thank you all for being here, interacting, as I said. Thank you, James, for being here, for joining me. I appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
I am hearing
for
heavy
listening
rain.
to me.
That's
Yeah.
encouraging. Oh my god. So,
it's going to thunderstorm and rain here too, I think, which tomorrow is my one beach day of the year, so it better not ruin that, but...
Let's hope not. Fingers
Yeah.
crossed.
Yeah, thank you.
But just in case, for some reason, my electricity gives out, because that has a tendency to happen, I will simply say, thank you, everybody. Thank you, James. Stick with me for a hot second after this, but once again, thank you, everybody. And remember, this is very important. Remember, darling, if you feel something oozing out of your headphones, don't worry. It's just your brain.